You can't just leave her there. The voice cuts through the sterile hum of supermarket air conditioning. You turn, half the aisle frozen, half pretending not to see. A cart lies on its side near the canned soup display, its contents scattered like coins after a fall. And beside it, a frail white woman in a pale blue coat sits trembling on the linoleum, one hand clutching her purse, the other trying to steady herself against a shelf of dented green beans. You don't think, you move. Your sneakers squeak against the floor as you kneel. "Ma'am, you okay? Don't move yet. Let me help." She blinks up at you, eyes cloudy with tears. I'm fine. I just lost my balance. People were..." Her voice cracks. "They just walked right by." You glance around. Shoppers avert their eyes. A young man scrolls on his phone. The clerk at the end of the aisle half turns, then decides he's too busy. The sound of a pop song floats faintly from the speakers above, painfully cheerful. You offer your hand. "Take your time." Her fingers, cold and papery, grip yours like they're holding on to more than balance. When she stands, you notice the bruise forming on her wrist, and the cart. Overturned like a crime scene, its contents a mix of canned soup, milk, and a small birthday card with a teddy bear on it. She tries to bend down for the milk, but you stop her. "Don't worry, I got it." A security guard rounds the corner, heavy boots echoing. His brow furrows. "Everything all right here?" You nod quickly. She fell. "It's fine." The old woman winces. "It's my fault. I'm so clumsy." He hesitates, eyes flicking between you, young, black, wearing a thrifted hoodie, and her, trembling, white, pearls around her neck even at the grocery store. You feel the silent suspicion. The kind that hangs between strangers like humidity. You keep your tone calm. "Can we get her a chair?" He mutters something into his radio and disappears. You crouch again, picking up the last of her groceries. "You shopping alone today?" "My son was supposed to come," she whispers, "but he's busy." The pause feels heavy, like that word means more than it should. You smile gently. Happens to the best of us. When the guard returns with a small folding chair, you help her sit. People begin moving again, curiosity spent. Somewhere, a child cries near the cereal aisle. The world resumes its rhythm, except yours. As she steadies her breathing, she reaches for her purse. "You've been so kind." "Let me..." You shake your head. "No need. You just take care of yourself." Her eyes shimmer with something between gratitude and fear. She hesitates, then places her hand over yours. "You remind me of someone. Someone I should have thanked a long time ago." Before you can ask what she means, she fumbles a small pack of crackers from her bag and insists you take it. You laugh softly. "Ma'am, please, you don't have to..." "I want to," she says. Her voice steadies. The world forgets its gentle people too easily. A simple sentence, but it lands with weight. You help her to the front registers, pushing her cart carefully, like escorting something fragile through a world that doesn't slow down. The cashier barely glances up, chewing gum, scanning the items lazily. When the total flashes on the screen, the old woman's hand trembles. Her card slips, then declines. The beep sounds louder than it should. I don't understand," she whispers. Without thinking, you slide your own worn debit card across the scanner. "It's okay." "I got it." The cashier raises an eyebrow. "You sure about that?" You nod, though your stomach knots. Your account barely has enough for the week. The receipt prints, the plastic bag crinkles, and the old woman looks at you as if she's seeing a ghost. "Why would you do that?" You shrug. "Guess I was raised right." As you walk her to the parking lot, the sky hangs low and gray. She opens the trunk of an aging Buick, places the bag inside, then turns back, suddenly composed. "What's your name, dear?" You tell her. She repeats it under her breath, like she's memorizing a prayer. "You're an angel," she says. "You don't know it yet, but you are." You smile awkwardly, unsure how to respond. When she drives off, her taillights blink twice, like a code you don't understand. You stand there a moment longer, the wind biting through your hoodie, wondering why her last glance felt less like goodbye and more like unfinished business. Across the parking lot, a security camera blinks red, recording silent. You don't see it. But someone will. The morning sun doesn't match your mood. It's too bright, too cheerful, too quick to erase yesterday's quiet weight. You sit at the small kitchen table, the one your mother used to call the war zone, because it's where bills, letters, and old coffee cups fought for space. The half-empty box of cereal feels more symbolic than filling. You pour the last of it into a chipped bowl and try to convince yourself that a handful of flakes and dignity count as breakfast. The apartment hums with ordinary poverty, the low buzz of the fridge, the faint whistle through the cracked window. But your heart's still replaying that moment at the store, the woman's trembling voice, the way she said your name like it meant something ancient. You should feel good about what you did, but something about it still feels off. Your phone buzzes. It's a message from your best friend, Kyra. Girl, saw the video. You're trending. You. Video? What video? Kyra. TikTok. Some dude filmed you helping that lady. Comments are wild. You freeze, your thumb hovers over the link. You click it, and there you are, kneeling beside the fallen woman, steadying her hand. The angle's grainy, but your voice is clear. Take your time, ma'am. The comments scroll like confetti and knives. See? Some people still have manners. She's an angel. Bet she staged it. Look how the guard watches her. SMH, world we live in. You sigh. The internet has a way of turning real life into noise. You set the phone down, push the bowl away, and stare at the sunlight crawling across the table. Still, deep down, there's a spark of something. Not pride exactly, but peace. Maybe your mama's right. Do right and the rest will find you. You grab your jacket. There's a shift at the diner in 20 minutes. The bell over the door chimes as you enter. The smell of bacon grease and burnt toast fills the air, a familiar comfort for people who don't have much else. You tie on your apron and catch the boss's eye. Hey, morning, sweetheart, he says, flipping through receipts. You seen yourself online? Someone sent me that video. You're famous! You chuckle. I'll trade fame for a working coffee machine. He laughs, but you can tell there's pride there. As you pour coffee for a couple of truckers, the TV above the counter hums through a morning talk show. The host says something about everyday heroes, and you glance up just in time to see yourself flash across the screen. The clip again, the fall, the rescue. Then a host's syrupy voice. Sometimes kindness finds us where we least expect it. The customers turn to look at you, smiles spreading. You wave it off. Don't believe everything you see on TV. A man at the corner booth, older, gray-stubbled, leans over. World needs more like you, miss. You nod politely, but the compliment feels strange. You didn't do it to be seen. You did it because nobody else moved. When your shift ends, you pull off the apron and step outside. A breeze lifts your curls. The world feels just a little different, like it's watching now. That night, as you count tips on your bedspread, your phone rings. Unknown number. Hello? A pause. Then a soft, familiar voice. Is this the young lady from the store? You sit upright. Yes, ma'am. Is this Mrs.? I'm sorry to call so late, she says, voice trembling like an old record. I just wanted to thank you again. Truly. I didn't even get to tell you my name. Her tone holds something, regret, or maybe caution. It's fine, you say kindly. I'm just glad you're okay, she hesitates. You'll be rewarded for your heart. Sooner than you think. Before you can respond, the line goes dead. You stare at your phone. No caller ID. Just the echo of her words hanging in the air like a strange promise. Rewarded for your heart. You shake your head, laugh under your breath. Old folks say things like that, you mutter, trying to convince yourself that's all it was. But when you lie down, the ceiling seems to whisper otherwise. The next morning, you walk into the same grocery store for bread and milk. The cashier, the same gum-chewing girl from before, looks up with new eyes. Hey, she says, smirking. Guess I was wrong about you. You tilt your head. Wrong? Thought you were one of those people always looking for trouble. Turns out you're like a celebrity or something. The way she says those people lands heavy, even wrapped in sarcasm. But you just smile. Guess I fooled you, she shrugs. That old lady's lucky you were there. Some folks get all the good karma. You pay, pick up your groceries, and as you leave, the automatic doors hiss open. And there, near the exit, you spot something on the floor, a folded note. You pick it up. No name, no address. Just 3 words in shaky handwriting. See you soon. You turn around. The crowd moves normally. Nobody's looking at you. For a long moment, you stand still. The plastic bag handles cutting into your fingers, heart beating faster than you want to admit. Then you walk out into the bright morning, the note trembling in your hand. You tell yourself it's nothing, but deep down something whispers. This story isn't finished. You wake up to rain tapping at your window, a slow, uneven rhythm, like the sky can't decide if it wants to weep or let go. The air smells like wet concrete and yesterday's hope. The kind of morning where time feels heavier than usual. The note, "See you soon," still sits on your nightstand next to a small photo of your mother. Her smile, worn but patient, reminds you of every lesson she left behind. Do good, not for thanks. For truth. You stir your coffee with the same chipped spoon she used to stir hers, staring at the swirling cream like it might reveal something. Who leaves a note like that? And how would they even know where to find you? You should be worried, but you're more curious than scared. Maybe that's your mother in you, the part that believes mystery might be kindness in disguise. You clock in at the diner early, trying to shake the unease. The neon open sign flickers above the rain-slick window, humming faintly like an old friend with secrets. Kira is already there, tying her apron. "Girl, you okay?" You look like you saw a ghost. You hand her the note. "Found this at the store yesterday." She reads it, frowns. "That's creepy, right?" you say, half laughing, half worried. "Think it's that old lady?" Kira shrugs. "Maybe, or maybe someone saw the video and wants to make contact. You know how people get when they see something go viral. They think they know you." You sigh. "Yeah, but something about her." She didn't seem like the internet type. Kira chuckles. "These days, even grandma's got TikTok." You both laugh, but the unease doesn't fade. Around lunchtime, a man in a gray suit walks in, soaked from the rain, expensive shoes ruined, tie askew. He slides into a booth without ordering, just stares at his phone. Something about his nervous tapping gets your attention. When you approach, he startles. "Coffee," he says quickly. "Black." As you pour, you notice a folder on the seat beside him, thick, sealed, marked only with a red sticker. Your eyes flicker to it out of habit, the way you glance at danger without meaning to. He notices. "Don't worry," he says quietly, almost to himself. "This is just overdue business." You nod politely and walk away. Kira watches you from the counter. "He's weird," she whispers. "Yeah, but polite weird. Those are the dangerous ones," she says, smirking. You laugh, but something inside you wonders if maybe she's right. That night, after your shift, you pass by the community board near the exit. There's a new flyer pinned there, the paper still crisp. It's an ad for a position at Whitmore & Field's consulting group. A real job, not diner work, real salary, real benefits. You scan the details. Junior coordinator, full training provided. Applicants with strong community values encouraged. You smile to yourself. Community values. Maybe that's finally your lane. You tear off one of the small paper tabs with the contact number. Kira peeks over your shoulder. "You actually applying?" "Why not? A girl can dream. Dream smart, then. Just make sure it's not some scam," she warns. Squinting. "Even if it is," you say, pocketing the tab. "I'd rather chase something fake than stand still forever." At home, you sit by the window as thunder rolls over the city. "You dial the number from the flyer," a woman answers. Her voice is calm, professional, but oddly familiar. "Whitmore & Fields, good evening. You clear your throat." "Hi, I saw you're posting for the coordinator position." "Oh, yes," she says warmly. "You've come to the right place. Could I have your name, please?" You tell her. There's a pause. Not long enough to be rude, but long enough to notice. "Wonderful," she says. "We've actually been expecting your call." Your heart skips. "Expecting me?" "Yes, your interview is tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. I'll text you the address." You stammer, "Wait, I didn't even," but the line clicks. You stare at your phone. A few seconds later, a message arrives. Whitmore and Fields, Downtown Tower, Suite 904. Dress professionally. No signature. You lean back, shaking your head. This city's getting weirder by the minute, you mutter. But deep down, something hums. That mix of fear and faith that always comes before your life changes. You can't sleep. You iron your best blouse, the one you save for church and dreams. The rain stops just before dawn, leaving the world washed and shining. As you step onto the bus, the city feels new again. Buildings glinting like they know a secret. A man gives up his seat for you. A woman smiles. It's as if kindness is contagious now, like your small moment at the store rippled outward, but the note still echoes in your mind. See you soon. When the bus stops outside the glass tower, you step off and stare upward. Whitmore and Fields stretches into the morning fog, tall enough to touch the sky. The kind of building people like you usually clean, not enter. You take a deep breath, check your reflection in the glass door. Behind you, a figure lingers. Maybe just another commuter, maybe not. You push the door open and step inside. The lobby glows gold with morning light. And somewhere, unseen above you, someone whispers, "Right on time." The elevator hums like a sleeping beast as you ride to the 9th floor. The numbers blink upward. 3, 4, 5, each one echoing a heartbeat. You clutch your purse tighter, smoothing your blouse like it could iron out the nerves inside you. A man in a navy suit joins you at the 7th floor. He nods politely, then studies you for a moment too long. His eyes flicker. Recognition, maybe? Or curiosity? "First time up here?" he asks. You smile faintly. "That obvious?" He chuckles. "Don't worry. They like new faces, fresh stories." Before you can ask what he means, the doors open with a soft chime. He steps out first, glancing back once. "Good luck, Miss Johnson." You freeze. You never told him your name. The hallway stretches long and quiet, carpeted in gray and gold. You walk past glass offices where people type silently, eyes glued to screens. The air smells like money and expensive perfume. Not your world, but close enough to touch. At the end of the hall, a receptionist greets you with a bright, rehearsed smile. "Good morning. You must be here for the coordinator interview?" "Yes, ma'am. Wonderful. You're right on time." She checks something on her screen. "They're ready for you in conference room B. They're ready. Not she or he. They." You nod, following her gesture. The sound of your own shoes against the carpet feels deafening. The door opens to a long oak table. 3 people sit on the other side, 2 men in suits, and in the middle, her, the old lady from the grocery store, not in her cardigan and sneakers now, but in a tailored blazer. Pearls glinting at her throat, posture regal as marble. For a moment, you forget how to breathe. She meets your eyes and smiles, slow, knowing, the same way she smiled when you handed her the can of soup. "Please," she says softly, "have a seat." Your voice barely works. "It's you." Her eyes twinkle. "It is. Though I suppose I should have introduced myself properly. I'm Evelyn Whitmore, founding partner here. The name hits like thunder. Whitmore and Fields, her company." You sit, trying to piece together how a woman who looked so small in a grocery aisle now feels like she runs the whole city. One of the men clears his throat. "Miss Johnson, thank you for coming." You nod, glancing between them. Evelyn stays quiet, studying you with calm curiosity. He continues, "Your file's quite unique. We don't often see applicants without a formal degree applying for this position. But Mrs. Whitmore insisted we meet you personally." You look at her. "You did?" She smiles faintly. "I like people who lead with kindness. It's rarer than any credential." The man flips a page in your file. "So tell us, Miss Johnson, why do you want to work here?" You swallow. The old rehearsed answers feel wrong now. You can't say career growth or financial security. Not to her. Instead, you say quietly, "Because I'm tired of watching good people get looked down on. I want to be somewhere that doesn't treat kindness like weakness." There's a silence. Not the awkward kind, the kind that fills a room when truth is spoken. Evelyn leans forward. And what would you do if someone did treat you that way here? You meet her gaze. I'd remind them what it costs to forget where they came from. For a heartbeat, her smile fades, like the words hit somewhere deep. Then she nods slowly, eyes shining. Noted, the interview ends. They thank you politely, tell you they'll be in touch. You step into the elevator feeling like you've just walked through someone else's dream. Your phone buzzes before you even hit the lobby. Unknown. Number. Check your email. You open it. A message from Whitmore and Fields HR. Welcome to the team. Report Monday morning, 8:30 a.m. No signatures. Just a logo. You blink at the screen, half laughing, half crying. That was fast. Outside, the sun finally breaks through the clouds. The city smells like possibility again. But as you step onto the sidewalk, a car slows beside you. Tinted windows, silent engine. The driver's face is shadowed, but his voice carries, "Congratulations, Miss Johnson." You freeze. "I'm sorry, do I know?" The window rolls up before you can finish. The car glides away. You stand there, phone in hand, heart racing. Something about this job, this whole thing, feels too perfect, too timed. And as you walk home, the question won't leave you. Did Evelyn Whitmore help you because you helped her, or because she needs you for something she hasn't said yet? Monday morning feels like walking into a story you didn't write. You wake before the alarm, make coffee that tastes too strong, and smooth your blouse 3 times before leaving. The mirror catches your reflection, nerves hiding behind hope. Just a job, you whisper to yourself. You've worked harder for less, but the truth is, this doesn't feel like just a job. It feels like a doorway, and something about Evelyn Whitmore, her steady eyes, her knowing smile, makes you feel like there's a lesson waiting on the other side. When you arrive, the building feels different, brighter, busier. You flash your new badge at security, the kind that actually beeps when you scan it. The guard nods respectfully, not like a customer service smile, but a real one. For the first time, you're not invisible. The receptionist greets you by name. "Welcome back, Miss Johnson. Mrs. Whitmore asked to see you first thing." "Already?" You follow her directions down the same hallway of the long corridor of quiet power until you reach Evelyn's office. The door is cracked open. Inside, sunlight pours across polished wood, lighting up framed photographs, a younger Evelyn with her husband, company parties, charity events. You knock softly. "Come in, dear," her voice calls. Evelyn sits behind the desk, glasses perched low, reading a file. When she looks up, her smile warms the room. "You're right on time." "I didn't want to be late," you say, laughing nervously. "Punctuality's an old-fashioned virtue." "I like that," she gestures to the chair. "Please sit." You glance around as you sit, and that's when you notice it. A photo frame turned face down on the corner of her desk. You wouldn't have thought twice, except the glass is cracked. Not shattered, but cleanly split, like someone once slammed it too hard. Evelyn notices your glance. "Some things are better unseen," she says softly. You smile politely, unsure how to respond. She closes the file. "You've been given a rare opportunity, Miss Johnson. We don't often hire people without experience, but you showed something others didn't." "What's that?" "Grace," she says simply, "and restraint. You could have filmed me, humiliated me, turned my bad day into a circus. Instead, you offered dignity. You blink, realizing she knew she looked broken that day in the grocery store. Her gaze softens. "People like you remind me what this place was meant to stand for." Her words warm you until she adds almost absently, "But don't let this world teach you too much kindness. It can make you easy to use." The way she says it, not a warning but a prophecy, sends a shiver through you. The first few days go smoothly. You learn quickly, take notes, keep your head down. The office is polite, structured, efficient, but cold. Conversations stop when you walk in. People whisper in the break room. Once, you overhear 2 co-workers. "She's the one Mrs. Whitmore found." "Found where?" "Doesn't matter." They say she reminds her of someone. You pretend not to hear, but the words follow you. Then one afternoon, while sorting files, you find a folder marked Community Relations, Closed Cases. The red sticker on it matches the one you saw beside the man in the diner. Curiosity wins. You open it. Inside are printed screenshots of news articles, photos, names, faces, and right there, one image stops your breath. It's you, a photo from the grocery store security camera. Caption: Young woman helps distressed senior during panic episode. But the name on the tag under the image isn't yours. It says E. Whitmore as Jane Doe. Your hands tremble. You flip the next page. An old police report dated 3 years ago. Subject: Evelyn Whitmore, missing after family scandal involving embezzlement and medical fraud investigation. Your pulse spikes. You glance toward the office door, half expecting her to appear. What did she mean by, "Some things are better unseen"? That evening, you stay late to finish a report. Most of the staff has gone home. The cleaning crew hums down the hall. Then, from Evelyn's office, you hear it, faintly at first. A voicemail, angry. Told you she'd never find out. You freeze. Evelyn answers, her tone calm but sharp. You underestimate her. She sees more than she lets on. A pause. Then a low chuckle from the man. You always did have a soft spot for the broken ones. The sound of footsteps. A door closing, silence. You creep toward the hallway. But by the time you reach her door, the lights inside are off. Only the turned-down photo frame glints faintly in the moonlight. You back away slowly, heart thudding. Something's not right. You were brought here for a reason, but not the one she told you, and tomorrow you decide you'll find out exactly what Evelyn Whitmore really wants from you. Tuesday dawns gray, the kind of light that makes glass buildings look like ghosts. You stand outside Whitmore Holdings, clutching your badge, wondering if you're walking into a job or a trap. Your mama used to say, when your spirit starts pacing before your feet do, listen. Right now, your spirit is pacing circles. Inside, the air hums with tension. Something's off. Desks that were bustling yesterday now sit empty. You nod to a secretary who doesn't nod back. The elevator pings open and 2 interns rush out whispering, "Is it true she's coming today?" One says. "Mrs. Whitmore?" "Nah, I heard she's with legal." "No, the board," the other mutters. They're doing a full review. You press the elevator button and feel their eyes slide over you. Curious, cautious, unsure. When the doors close, your reflection stares back. Pressed blouse, polished shoes, a borrowed calm. You force a smile, whisper, "Just get through the day." But as the elevator glides upward, the floor numbers blink slower than usual. At floor 9, it jerks to a stop. A hand slips through the closing doors. Manicured, veined, familiar. "Hold it, dear." Evelyn Whitmore steps inside. She looks different today. Pearls, soft blue suit, and that same silver brooch you remember from the store. But her eyes, they're distant, preoccupied. "Morning," you say carefully. She gives a polite nod but doesn't look at you. Her gaze stays fixed on the panel of buttons, as if the numbers might offer escape. The elevator hums, then stalls briefly between floors. A sharp buzz. You feel the air shift. Small space, heavy silence. She sighs. "Seems even the machines are tired of my company," you chuckle nervously. "Guess they don't like Mondays either." She glances sideways, a faint smile breaking through. Then softly, "Miss Johnson, do you believe in second chances?" You hesitate. "I think everyone deserves one." "If they mean it," her expression falters, as if those words land harder than you meant them to. Before you can ask why, the elevator dings and the doors open to the top floor. A wall of glass stretches behind a long mahogany table. Men and women in tailored suits are already seated. The hum of whispered conversation fills the air. And at the center, your chair. You freeze. This is my interview?" you whisper. Evelyn's voice turns measured. "Your evaluation, dear. Every 6 months, we bring in new perspectives. You'll observe today's meeting and answer questions at the end." Observe? You barely started working here, but before you can protest, she places a gentle hand on your shoulder. "Be honest. That's all I ask." The gesture feels kind, yet heavy, like being pushed toward something unseen. You walk to your seat under a dozen watchful eyes. Notebooks flip open. Tablets blink to life. Evelyn takes her place at the head of the table. Ladies and gentlemen, she begins, today we review our outreach proposal and evaluate our newest program associate, Miss Jordan Johnson. A low murmur ripples through the room. Someone raises an eyebrow. One man leans back, smirking. Straight to the big leagues, huh? You swallow hard. The first question hits like a jab. Tell us, says the smirking man, what makes you qualified to represent our community initiatives given your limited experience? The word limited echoes louder than it should. You try to steady your breath, because I know what it's like to be on the other side of those initiatives. To need them. Someone chuckles. Another scribbles notes. You continue, voice low but steady. I've lived what you're trying to solve, and that gives me perspective statistics can't. A few heads tilt, but Evelyn says nothing. She just watches, eyes unreadable. Then another board member speaks. Miss Johnson, suppose you had to choose between helping one family or saving 100 jobs. Which would you pick? You pause. Depends on what those jobs do for the families. A faint smile crosses Evelyn's lips. Approval or memory, you can't tell. The questions keep coming. Harsh, personal, technical. Each one feels less like an interview and more like a test you were never meant to pass. Finally, the smirking man slams his pen down. I think we've indulged this experiment long enough, he says. She's unqualified, sentimental, and clearly doesn't understand corporate priorities. Evelyn doesn't flinch. And yet, she understands humanity, something this board occasionally misplaces. The room stiffens. Mrs. Whitmore, the man says carefully. With respect, this isn't one of your charity projects. Her smile turns razor thin. No, Mr. Harris, it's one of my companies, he glares. Then perhaps you'd care to explain why this candidate was personally fast-tracked? Or why she was seen accessing confidential files? Your pulse spikes. How does he know? Evelyn's head turns slightly. Her tone stays calm. Because I asked her to. The room stills. Mr. Harris frowns. You, what? She's been part of an internal ethics audit. Gasps, murmurs. Someone sets down their coffee too hard. Evelyn folds her hands. For months, I've suspected leaks and misconduct in our outreach division. Miss Johnson was my observer, chosen for her perspective and integrity. You stare at her, shocked. Observer? You didn't even know there was an audit. She meets your eyes, speaking now to the room. She didn't know her role was part of an assessment. That's how you get truth, by watching people when they think no one's grading. The board falls silent. Then slowly, Evelyn rises. And now, gentlemen and ladies, we'll see which of you pass the test. For a long, stunned moment, no one moves. You sit frozen as realization dawns. She'd been using you as a mirror to expose them. Every whisper, every smirk, every condescending word, all part of her plan. She turns back toward you. Thank you, Miss Johnson. You may wait in my office. You stand shakily. The floor feels unsteady under your feet. As you leave, you hear one board member whisper, "So she set us up," and another answer, "No, she showed us to ourselves." You walk the long hallway again, the same one from your first day. But now the shadows seem deeper, the silence heavier. Somewhere inside, a question begins to form. Did she do this to help you, or to use you? And why, when she looked at you in that elevator, did it feel like she already knew your answer? You wait in Evelyn's office, the seconds stretching like hours. The blinds are half drawn, the city hum softened behind tinted glass. The cracked picture frame still lies face down on her desk, just as before. You should leave. Every instinct says so. But you don't. You sit there, palms sweating, eyes on the clock that ticks too loudly in the quiet. The door opens. Evelyn steps in, slower than usual, her heels soft on the carpet. She closes the door without turning the lights on. The late morning sun paints both of you in thin stripes of gold and shadow. Quite a meeting, she says lightly. You try to smile. If that was an evaluation, I'm scared to see a real test. Her laugh is small, tired. She sets a folder on the desk and studies you for a long moment. Then gently, Do you know why I chose you, Miss Johnson? You shake your head, because you reminded me of someone I failed. She opens the folder. Inside, newspaper clippings, faded photos, letters. The top one bears the face of a teenage girl, black, bright-eyed, smiling. Her name was Lillian, Evelyn says. She was my housekeeper's daughter. Smart as lightning. She wanted to go to college. I promised I'd help her. You glance up. What happened? I didn't keep my promise, she whispers. My husband said she was getting ideas. We argued. The next week, she left. A year later, I heard she'd died in a car accident, trying to make it home after a night shift. Silence. She closes the folder, voice trembling. I built scholarship funds, charities, wrote checks, but guilt doesn't wash clean. When I saw you in that store, helping me when I least deserved it, I saw Lillian again. You stare at her, the truth dawning. You staged that call, didn't you? The interview. This job. She nods once. I needed to know if kindness still existed, if the world hadn't turned everyone cold. The words hang heavy, both confession and plea. You look around the office, at the photos of galas, the awards, the luxury built on second chances she'd never given. Mrs. Whitmore, you say quietly, you don't need me to prove kindness exists. You just need to believe it's not yours to test. Her eyes glisten. For a heartbeat, she looks smaller, fragile. You sound like my late husband's secretary, she murmurs. Always reminding me of my own mirror. A knock interrupts. The receptionist pokes in, cheeks flushed. Ma'am, the auditors are here. They've found irregularities in Mr. Harris's accounts. Evelyn straightens. The moment's softness hardens into resolve. Tell them I'll be right there. When the door closes, she exhales. The house always hides its cracks until someone new walks in. You stand. And now you're going to fix them? Now, she says, eyes sharp again. We're going to fix them. She slides a white envelope across the desk. Open it. Inside, an official job offer with your name embossed. Position, Director of Community Integrity. Salary, numbers that don't even seem real. You blink. This can't be right. It's earned, she says simply. I want you where truth can't be ignored. You hesitate. Why me? She smiles faintly. Because you don't owe me forgiveness. For a long while, you both stand in silence. Outside, the wind brushes the glass. Somewhere below, a siren wails and fades. Finally, she asks, May I pose one last question? You nod. If you had to choose, exposing a powerful lie that could ruin this company or protecting the people whose jobs depend on it, which would you choose? It's the same type of moral riddle the board threw earlier, but now it feels personal, urgent. You answer slowly. The truth doesn't ruin honest people. It only ruins those who've built on lies. She studies you, expression unreadable, then nods once, as if confirming something she already suspected. Later that evening, the elevator carries you both down to the lobby. The air between you is calm but heavy, like a storm that's already passed. As you step out, Evelyn says softly, when people ask how I met my new director, I'll tell them the truth. A young woman taught me that dignity isn't charity. You smile faintly. And when they ask how I got the job, tell them, she says, you just helped an old lady find her way home. She walks away before you can answer. You glance back at the elevator doors as they close, catching your reflection, older somehow, stronger. You think of your mother's words, of Evelyn's guilt, of Lillian, and of the invisible chain between all of you. Women who tried to do right in a world that so often did wrong. And you realize maybe second chances aren't given. Maybe they're earned quietly, one good deed at a time. Still, as you turn to leave, something on the floor catches your eye. A photo slipped from the folder she carried. You bend down. It's a black and white picture of Evelyn standing beside a younger man, smiling stiffly. On the back, written in looping pen, for Lillian. Never forget who you are. You tuck it carefully into your bag. Because some truths deserve to survive the people who buried them. You return the next morning expecting routine. You're wrong. The front desk buzzes with whispers. Suits rush by, phones ring nonstop, and security guards linger near the elevators like sentinels. You step forward. "What's going on?" The receptionist lowers her voice. "Big shakeup upstairs. Audit reports came in. Some folks won't be coming back." Your stomach tightens. You know exactly who she means. Before you can ask more, a voice cuts through the noise. "Miss Johnson, in here, please." Evelyn stands at the top of the stairs, posture straight, eyes calm but shadowed. You follow her into the boardroom, the same room where yesterday's judgment took place. It's empty now, except for 2 sealed envelopes on the table, one white, one black. She gestures to the seat opposite her. "Sit." You do. "For transparency," she begins, "today's a formality. The auditors confirmed what I suspected. Harris and 2 others siphoned funds from our community accounts. They'll face charges." You nod slowly. "So that's justice, then?" She exhales. "Justice rarely feels clean. The money will be returned, but the trust, that takes longer." She slides the white envelope toward you. "This one's yours." You open it. An official contract, your new title embossed again, but beneath it, something handwritten. "For the woman who reminded me that good hearts don't need credentials." A lump rises in your throat. Then you notice the black envelope, still untouched. "And that one?" Her hand rests lightly on it. "That one's mine." You frown. "Are you leaving?" She smiles faintly. "In time. But first, there's something you should see." She opens the black envelope and pulls out a faded letter, the paper soft with age. "I found this in an old box last night," she says. "It's from Lillian, written the week before she died." She unfolds it carefully. Her voice trembles as she reads, "Dear Mrs. Whitmore, you once said kindness was a weakness. Maybe it is. But it's the only thing that's ever made my life feel strong. Don't spend your years paying people back. Spend them paying kindness forward." Evelyn's voice breaks on the last line. She folds the letter again and places it gently beside you. "I thought success could erase regret," she whispers. "But it took losing everything and meeting you to realize regret only fades when it turns into repair." You look at her, really look, not as the CEO, not as the woman you pitied in the store, but as someone who's been both wrong and trying to make it right. She straightens, gathering herself. "I'm stepping down from the board next quarter. I'll oversee the new foundation with you, but the public face should be yours. The company needs a future, not a ghost." You blink. "I don't even know what to say." "Say you'll keep the light on," she replies softly, "for the next person who almost gives up." The phrase hits deep. Your mother's saying, almost word for word. You wonder if she knows, or if the world just weaves certain truths into different lives. Weeks pass. The news breaks publicly. Whitmore Holdings cleans house after internal audit. Headlines praise a young director's moral courage. Your photo appears beside Evelyn's, the mentor and her successor, but behind the applause, you know the real story. A grocery store, a fallen bag of oranges, a stranger's tears. That's where it began. Sometimes you visit that same market after work. The aisles smell like memory, citrus and floor wax. The cashier who once smirked now greets you differently. Recognition softens arrogance like time softens stone. You buy 2 bags of oranges every time, one for yourself, one to leave on the community donation shelf near the exit. You never say why. One rainy evening, you receive a small package at your office. No return address. Inside, a polished nameplate engraved Lillian Whitmore Foundation Director, Jordan Johnson, and beneath it, a note in elegant handwriting. Thank you for giving her name a home again. You sit back, the world quieting around you. People will tell this story a dozen ways, about a chance meeting, a corporate scandal, a young woman who rose from nowhere, but you'll always remember it differently. A cry in aisle 9, a decision to help, and a truth that grew roots in 2 hearts long before justice had a name. The camera of your mind pulls back, the city glowing under evening rain, reflections rippling across glass towers. Somewhere in that hum of traffic and light, kindness continues its quiet work, unseen but unstoppable. Because maybe, just maybe, every act of grace is a seed, and every seed remembers where it fell. People still argue whether kindness changes anything in a world built on profit and pride. Maybe it doesn't change everything, but it always changes someone. Sometimes that someone turns out to be powerful enough to open doors for others. Sometimes it's just a stranger who carries a letter or a lesson or a name. You never know which small mercy will echo loudest. Years from now, when people walk through the doors of the Lillian Whitmore Foundation, they won't remember who donated the money or who signed the checks. They'll remember the faces, people helping people, dignity passed like light from hand to hand. And maybe, if you listen closely enough, you'll still hear it. The quiet sound of a grocery bag dropping, a young woman's gentle voice saying, "It's okay, I've got you." Because sometimes that's all justice really needs, someone who refuses to look away. If this story reminded you that kindness doesn't need wealth, it just needs heart, go ahead and smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Have you ever helped someone not knowing they'd show up later in your life? Tell us your story in the comments. Your act of kindness might inspire our next viral tale of redemption and grace. And here's a little challenge for our sharp-eyed viewers. There's a tiny moment around minute 5:56 when Evelyn folds that black envelope that quietly hints at what she's about to do long before the reveal. Watch again and tell us what detail you caught. Did you notice what her thumb does when she closes it? Only the most observant viewers will catch that signal, because in this story, just like in life, the smallest gestures carry the biggest truths.